Stop running from the storm. Stand still and listen. The man who can keep his mind calm when all the world is trembling is the man who cannot be defeated. Struggle was never sent to destroy you. It was sent to measure you. And the way you respond in silence reveals what manner of mind governs your life. There is a power in stillness that the restless will never know. Most men panic at the first sign of difficulty. They let emotion govern judgment, fear govern faith, and chaos govern their days. They lose their peace because they never learn to master their inner climate. But those who rule the world, the thinkers, the builders, the conquerors, move through struggle as if it were air, not fire. Understand this truth. Calmness is not weakness. It is control. It is the evidence that your mind has been disciplined to obey you, not the world. The undisciplined man reacts to everything he sees. The disciplined man chooses what he will feel, what he will think, and what he will believe, no matter what happens. Every man faces storms, but the strong man, the definite man, the man who knows his purpose, he does not tremble when the wind howls. He remembers that storms pass, but the mind endures. He fights, yes, but he fights without frenzy. He moves without noise. He conquers without losing himself. When I speak of calmness, I do not mean resignation. I mean command. Calmness is the outer expression of inward power. It is the atmosphere of faith. It is the sound of a mind that knows that all things, even struggle, are servants of its purpose. When your thoughts are ordered, struggle becomes opportunity. When your mind is disordered, opportunity becomes struggle. The crowd trembles because it cannot think beyond the moment. The wise remain calm because they see beyond appearances. The weak man believes the struggle is against him. The wise man knows the struggle is for him, to prove his mastery, to strengthen his focus, to refine his faith. When life seems to turn against you, when business fails, when friends disappear, when plans collapse, do not curse the test. Observe your own mind. Ask yourself, who is in control here? My emotions or my purpose? For the man who governs his inner world commands the outer world in due time. Look at Henry Ford when his factories burned to the ground. He did not rage, did not despair. He said calmly, "We will rebuild." And he did. Look at Edison, after thousands of failed experiments. He smiled and said, "Now I know 1,000 ways that will not work." That is calmness in its purest form, faith disguised as patience, control disguised as peace. Your calmness is your fortress. Lose it, and the enemy of fear, doubt, confusion walks through the gates of your mind. Keep it, and even defeat cannot touch you. The man who refuses to be shaken cannot be broken. When you lose your temper, you lose your power. Anger clouds the intellect. Fear freezes decision. Anxiety destroys initiative. But calmness clears the air. It is the mental silence through which infinite intelligence speaks. When the mind is quiet, ideas rise like stars in the night. You must train yourself to fight while calm, to act without losing your center, to speak without heat, to move without haste. For the man who can remain composed in crisis gains advantage over all who cannot. While others drown in emotion, he swims with direction. While others panic, he plans. While others doubt, he decides. You will never find calmness by waiting for peace to arrive. You find it by ruling your thoughts where you stand. The world may shout, but your mind must whisper, "I decide what enters." The storm may rage, but your faith must say, "I remain unmoved." The test may hurt, but your voice must command, "I will not break." Calmness does not come naturally. It is built by discipline. Every morning you decide whether to live as a slave to emotion or a master of mind. You choose whether to let the world pull your strings or to hold the reins of thought. Begin by mastering one reaction today. Say less when anger tempts you. Breathe when fear calls your name. Act only when reason approves. Understand, there is no success without serenity. The man who cannot stay calm will ruin his fortune with haste, lose allies through temper, and destroy his health with worry. The calm mind sees clearly. The restless mind blunders. And every error in business, in love, in life, is born of mental agitation. To fight while calm means to trust the law, to know that every obstacle carries its own reward, to remember that no condition is permanent except the one you hold in thought. When the mind is calm, faith grows, and where faith grows, all things become possible. Repeat these words to yourself daily. I remain calm under pressure. My mind is the master, not the servant. My purpose rules my emotions. My calmness is my power. Say it when you rise. Say it before you sleep. Say it until your subconscious obeys. For repetition turns words into law. The greatest battles of life are not fought with hands, but with focus. He who keeps his composure when the world shakes beneath him discovers that fear is powerless against a steady will. The moment you cease to react, you begin to command. So when struggle appears, as it surely will, stand tall, breathe deeply, and hold to this thought. Nothing external can disturb the calm mind that knows its purpose. Let men shout. Let conditions change. Let fortune rise or fall. You remain centered, definite, calm. That, my friend, is how kings think in chaos. That is how wealth is built in recessions, how faith is proven in trials, how power is born in silence. Calmness is not retreat, it is readiness. It is the poised mind waiting for the precise strike of opportunity. Fight, yes. Strive, yes. Work, endure, decide, persist, but never lose your calm. For once you master your reaction, nothing external can master you. The man who fights while calm cannot be defeated because he has conquered himself. Every man must one day stand alone before himself and decide who governs his mind. For there are two rulers in every life, the outer world that clamors for reaction, and the inner world that commands silence. The first seeks to rule through confusion, the second through law. The one who learns to obey his inner command, not his outer chaos, becomes master of destiny itself. Struggle, therefore, is not sent to destroy, but to measure the degree of one's self-government. When adversity knocks at your gate, it is not the world against you. It is the law asking, have you learned dominion over thought? Every test of life begins not in circumstance, but in the response of the mind. Calmness is the banner of the victor long before victory arrives. Calmness is not inaction. It is disciplined power held in reserve, the silent assurance that nothing external can shake internal order. The undisciplined mind trembles before every gust of wind. The disciplined mind walks through the storm as though through sunlight. The strong man acts without frenzy, speaks without heat, and decides without haste. His strength lies in his composure. It has been my lifelong study to observe what separates those who rise from those who sink under pressure. It is not genius, nor fortune, nor opportunity. It is the quiet habit of inner control. Every man is tested not by calm seas, but by storms. And those who keep their peace in crisis rise to power, while the restless perish in their own noise. The mind is a throne, and calmness is its crown. When you permit fear or anger to sit upon that throne, reason abdicates. But when you maintain composure, every power within you stands at attention. Calmness is the language through which infinite intelligence speaks. All else is static. The man who stills his mind in adversity hears the guidance that others miss. Stillness, properly understood, is not stagnation. The stagnant mind is dead. The still mind is alive with order. It is the difference between a pond and a deep well. The pond reflects every passing cloud. The well reflects only the light of its own depth. The calm mind sees truth as it is, unbent by wind or wave. Every successful man I have known built his fortune upon this inner steadiness. Henry Ford once watched millions of dollars burn before his eyes as his factories went up in flames. His friends trembled. His employees wept. Ford looked at the fire and said simply, "We will rebuild and better." He did not lose his fortune that day. He revealed its source, the calm mind that never panics. The weak man curses fate and disaster. The strong man commands order in thought. The one blames, the other builds. Ford's wealth was not in machines or men, but in self-command. For the man who rules himself can rebuild any empire. The man who cannot loses all. Calmness, then, is training, the daily discipline of making emotion obey intellect. You must drill your mind as an army drills its ranks. Each morning stand guard at the gate of your thought and ask, "Who commands here today, my purpose or my passion?" You will find that most men are ruled by impulse and call it instinct. But instinct without discipline is chaos. You cannot wait for peace to arrive after victory. Peace must precede it. Calmness is built, not found. Every moment you refuse to react, you forge armor. Each time you hold silence instead of anger, your mind grows stronger. This is not weakness. It is rehearsal for command. The art of stillness begins with observation. Before you speak, think. Before you act, breathe. Before you judge, wait. Every delay between impulse and action increases power. Most men fear pause because they equate motion with strength. Yet the mightiest forces in nature, gravity, magnetism, light, act in silence. Stillness must be practiced deliberately. Sit each morning for 10 minutes in perfect quiet. Let thought move, but do not chase it. Watch emotion rise and pass without interference. Soon you will feel a distance between you and your reactions. That distance is mastery. For he who can observe emotion without surrendering to it has already conquered 90% of life. When you become observer rather than victim, emotion loses its tyranny. You will still feel anger, but it will obey reason. You will feel fear, but it will serve prudence. You will feel sorrow, but it will refine faith. The calm man does not suppress emotion. He directs it like a conductor directing an orchestra. I have seen small-minded men collapse under trivial burdens. One word of criticism shakes their peace. One failure robs them of courage. They are tossed like leaves in every wind of circumstance. Yet the man of stillness walks through insult and loss unmoved. He knows that power resides not in events, but in interpretation. The outer world has no command over one who commands his own mind. Remember this, emotion is energy, and energy is blind until guided. Anger is heat, faith is light. The heat without light destroys. The light with heat creates. Your calmness is the lamp that channels all power. When you remain poised in difficulty, the same energy that could have burned you begins to illuminate your path. The physiology of peace is simple. A calm mind slows the pulse, deepens the breath, relaxes the muscles. These changes are not merely physical. They are the body's acknowledgement of harmony within. When the mind commands order, the body obeys. When the mind panics, the body echoes confusion. Thus, calmness is health, and agitation disease. Infinite intelligence does not dwell in haste. Ideas are born in silence. Inspiration cannot penetrate a restless brain. When your thoughts rush, you close the door through which guidance enters. But when you grow quiet, when the clamor of emotion subsides, the whisper of wisdom is heard. The greatest thinkers in history were men who knew how to be still. Thomas Edison, when faced with thousands of failed experiments, did not rage nor despair. He smiled and said, "I have not failed. I have found 1,000 ways that will not work." His calm curiosity turned failure into information. His composure transformed struggle into discovery. This is not genius, it is order, mental control applied to circumstance. Calmness clears the channel through which infinite intelligence communicates. When you are at peace, you are attuned to law. When you are disturbed, you are deaf to it. Think of a lake in wind, its surface broken, unable to reflect the stars. So it is with the mind in agitation. Truth cannot be seen until stillness returns. The weak man seeks calm after success. The wise man cultivates calm during struggle. One prays for storms to end. The other learns to stand still in the rain. Strength is not proven by how loud you fight, but by how quietly you endure. There is power in restraint that noise can never know. When others shout, speak little. When others rush, move slowly. When others despair, hold faith. The man who refuses to be moved by emotion gains the respect of all who are enslaved by it. Silence is the loudest declaration of control. Once you have built calmness, others will begin to feel it around you. They may not understand why, but they will sense order in your presence. The angry will soften, the frightened will breathe easier, the doubtful will listen. You will lead not by command, but by atmosphere. This is true leadership, invisible, silent, irresistible. Your calmness is your fortress. Fear, doubt, and confusion cannot enter where peace is guard. Keep your mind steady, and all forces of chaos will exhaust themselves at its walls. The man who cannot be shaken cannot be defeated. Even when outwardly conquered, he remains king within. This discipline must be maintained as a soldier maintains his weapon, clean, ready, and under command. The moment you neglect it, disorder enters. Anger and haste will whisper that action must be immediate. But haste without direction is ruin. The man who pauses gains clarity. The pause between stimulus and decision is the birthplace of power. Train yourself then to breathe slowly in moments of trial. This simple act asserts dominion over panic. Thought follows breath as surely as a ship follows the current. By mastering breath, you master thought. By mastering thought, you master circumstance. Calmness is therefore both mental and physical discipline. Remember that the strongest weapon of any man is composure. It confuses enemies, strengthens allies, and reveals intelligence where others see emotion. The fighter who loses temper loses aim. The thinker who loses peace loses reason. The man who keeps calm in battle gains every advantage. There is a legend that when a great storm struck the coast, a lighthouse keeper was found sitting silently, polishing the lens. "Why polish during tempest?" he was asked. He replied, "Because when calm returns, the light must shine clear." So it is with the calm mind. Keep polishing while the wind howls, the storm passes, the shining remains. In stillness you will find yourself. The noise of the world hides your true nature, but silence reveals it. There, in the quiet command of your mind, you will hear the voice of law saying, "Be still and know that I am order." This knowledge is the source of all power. Once you possess it, No circumstance can rob you of composure again. Repeat these words when fear rises. My calmness is command. My silence is strength. My mind is master of itself. Speak them not as a plea, but as a declaration. Let them ring in the chambers of your mind until they become truth. Then when life tests you, when plans fail, when friends turn, when fortune trembles, you will not crumble. You will stand as the mountain stands before the storm, unmoved, knowing that every gust passes, but the mountain remains. To live this way is to enter the kingdom of mastery. For what is mastery but control of self? He who governs thought governs fate. He who rules emotion rules the world. Calmness, therefore, is not weakness, but royalty, the crown of disciplined power. Hold this vision, you, calm in crisis, deliberate under pressure, smiling amid uncertainty. Picture yourself steady while others falter, clear while others blur, silent while others shout. That image, held daily, will train your nerves, shape your manner, and transform your destiny. Say once more, I do not tremble in crisis. I remain composed, for faith directs me. The noise of fear cannot enter a silent mind. Speak it until silence within becomes your constant companion. For silence is not absence, it is presence, the presence of divine order moving through you. And when you have learned to live thus, unhurried, unshaken, unwavering, you will understand the meaning of strength. For the calm mind is not empty. It is full of command. It is not weak. It is concentrated power. It is not blind to danger. It sees beyond it. The calm man does not escape struggle. He transforms it into victory. This, then, is the first law of mastery. Rule thyself. Make calmness thy practice, composure thy habit, and silence thy strength. For the man who has conquered reaction has already conquered fate. Every man is born with emotion, but few ever learn its government. Emotion is the raw power of the human machine, but power unguided destroys more than it creates. The man who learns to direct feeling as a general directs his army can accomplish anything he wills, for he has united heart and intellect under one command. Emotion is neither enemy nor friend. It is servant. It waits for the order of thought. In the undisciplined mind, emotion rebels, overturning reason, wasting strength, and confusing judgment. In the disciplined mind, emotion obeys. It amplifies purpose, strengthens will, and sustains effort. This is the true science of emotional government, the art of ruling energy through law. Think of your mind as a parliament. Thought is the lawmaker, emotion the soldier, and will the ruler who enforces harmony. When thought falters, the army mutinies. When emotion revolts, chaos reigns. But when will and intellect unite, every force within the human nature marches as one. This unity is the secret of calm power. Understand this truth. Emotion multiplies whatever thought dominates the mind. Fear expands defeat. Anger enlarges opposition. Faith magnifies success. Therefore, the wise do not destroy emotion, they direct it. To rule emotion is to choose which thoughts it will feed and which it will starve. Most men feed fear daily with attention and then wonder why courage dies of hunger. Emotion is the current that gives thought its motion. Without feeling, ideas remain inert. A plan must be felt before it can be acted upon. But feeling without discipline becomes impulse, and impulse is the ruin of kings. The one who can feel deeply, yet decide deliberately, has achieved the balance of genius. To govern emotion, you must first study its nature. Emotion is like electricity, invisible, powerful, and impartial. When directed through wire, it lights the world. When uncontrolled, it burns it. The mind that builds emotional order is the wire. Calmness is its insulation. Therefore, agitation is short circuit, and composure is safety. Abraham Lincoln, perhaps more than any man of his century, mastered this science. His heart was vast enough to feel the suffering of a nation, yet his judgment remained unmoved by personal grievance. He did not suppress emotion. He purified it. His sorrow became patience. His anger turned to justice. His pity became policy. Through the government of his own feeling, he governed millions. When the storm of war broke, men around him shouted for vengeance or despair. Lincoln remained calm, his voice gentle, his purpose firm. He said, "We must think anew and act anew." His serenity was not coldness, it was control. He transformed emotion into strength, and the nation followed the vibration of his steadiness. This is the first law of emotional mastery. Never act under the first flame of feeling. Let emotion rise, but observe it before it commands. He who delays reaction one moment gains dominion. In that single pause between impulse and action lies the difference between wisdom and regret. You may feel anger, all men do, but before you speak, breathe. Before you decide, step back into silence. This pause converts instinct into intelligence. Each time you win this inner battle, your will grows stronger, your composure deeper, your mind more royal in bearing. Every moment of restraint is a soldier added to your army of control. Emotion is contagious. The angry infect the peaceful, the fearful spread uncertainty, the impatient breed confusion, but calmness too is contagious. The composed man halts the fever of the crowd by the simple fact of his steadiness. When others see that he does not tremble, they borrow his peace. Leadership begins the moment emotion obeys you. Do not misunderstand. Calmness does not mean indifference. It means understanding. The man who governs emotion feels more, not less. But he feels as master, not as slave. He directs passion toward construction, never destruction. When anger arises, he channels it into correction. When fear whispers, he turns it into prudence. When sorrow calls, he translates it into compassion. I have often said that emotional discipline is self-respect in motion. When you allow your temper to rule, you betray your own dignity. To stay calm in provocation is to affirm mastery. To explode is to confess weakness. Anger promises strength, but always ends in regret. Only calmness can strike with accuracy. Train yourself to pause. Each pause is proof of power. Weak men rush, the strong wait. The undisciplined act first and think later. The master thinks first and seldom needs to act rashly. He knows that time is his ally and passion his test. In business, I have watched men lose fortunes because emotion clouded reason. Panic spreads faster than truth, and greed shouts louder than wisdom. The calm thinker sees both, yet follows neither. He listens to law, not noise. In a crisis, he becomes a fixed point around which the frantic revolve. Such a man gains influence not through speech, but through composure. Panic, once born, grows in the mind like fire in dry grass. The only extinguisher is stillness. When fear rises, refuse to move. Breathe, count, wait. Fear cannot endure in an unmoving mind. It depends on motion, on the racing of thought, the quickening of pulse, the trembling of will. Deny it these, and it dies of starvation. There is another truth seldom understood. Anger burns the brain. The energy of rage is fire turned inward. It consumes reason, depletes strength, and leaves exhaustion in its wake. Calmness refines this energy. What begins as passion, when purified through composure, becomes enthusiasm, a noble flame that enlightens instead of destroying. Consider Napoleon, whose very name suggests command. On the battlefield, when cannons thundered and men fell, he remained silent and composed. An officer once remarked, "Nothing is done while the emperor is disturbed." Napoleon knew that disturbance destroys vision. The calm general sees the field. The excited sees only dust. When emotion threatens to overthrow thought, withdraw attention from self and fix it upon purpose. Purpose is the magnet that straightens the needle of feeling. Ask yourself, what is my aim? This question recalls reason from the storm. Purpose is the anchor of emotion. Without it, every wave becomes disaster. The greatest mistake is to believe that suppression is control. Suppression buries emotion alive. Control transforms it into strength. To bottle anger is to create bitterness. To understand it is to turn it into power. The man who channels passion toward his vision is never defeated by it. Emotion is like water. If it runs wild, it erodes. If it is dammed completely, it stagnates. If it is directed, it generates power. Calmness is the dam, purpose the channel, and will the turbine that converts feeling into force. This is emotional engineering, the science of turning sentiment into achievement. To cultivate this power, practice deliberate breathing. Breath is the bridge between mind and body. When you breathe slowly, you remind the nerves who commands. Each calm breath reorders thought, reduces confusion, restores clarity. Make breathing a habit of self-mastery. It is the simplest yet most immediate act of control known to man. Develop also the art of inner dialogue. When emotion rises, speak within yourself as you would to a loyal friend. Peace, be still. This too shall pass. I am master here. The mind listens to its own voice. What you say inwardly becomes law to the subconscious. In time, this voice of command will rise naturally in every crisis. Delay speech when anger tempts you. The tongue, once loosed, becomes the courier of regret. Words cannot be recalled, but silence never wounds. The man who rules speech rules destiny. Even kings have fallen through a single uncontrolled word. Learn to let silence fight for you. It wins more battles than noise. You will discover that repeated calmness forms habit. What once required effort becomes natural grace. You will no longer struggle to control reaction. You will find reaction obeys automatically. The law of habit is divine mercy. What we repeat, we become. Therefore, practice serenity until it becomes your second nature. When emotion is properly governed, imagination flourishes. The calm mind is creative because its energy is not wasted in turbulence. Inspiration, like a clear spring, flows only from still water. Every great invention, every work of genius was born not of frenzy, but of steady intensity. Edison's patience was calmness in motion. The emotional man rushes toward every spark. The master tends one flame until it becomes light for all. The difference between failure and triumph lies not in talent, but in steadiness. To feel deeply yet stay centered, this is rare and therefore royal. The calm mind is a throne upon which wisdom sits undisturbed. Emotional government also preserves health. Worry poisons the blood. Fear slows digestion. Rage exhausts the nerves. The man who controls feeling extends his years. The doctors of the body will one day discover what the doctors of the soul have long known, that peace is the first medicine. Calmness heals where agitation kills. Let us not forget that even love, the noblest emotion, demands discipline. Uncontrolled love becomes jealousy. Disciplined love becomes devotion. Every emotion, pure or dark, finds elevation through government. To rule emotion is to raise life from instinct to purpose, from passion to principle. Observe the successful man in conversation. His tone is measured, his posture balanced, his eyes calm. He may speak softly, but every word carries weight because his emotion has been refined into conviction. The loud man hopes to be heard. The calm man deserves to be. When men of uncontrolled emotion confront you, do not descend to their level. Their fury seeks company. Respond with silence, and you will expose their weakness. The one who argues with noise confesses equality with confusion. The one who remains composed reveals superiority without effort. Calmness does not yield victory instantly. It prepares it. Each moment of restraint plants a seed of command that ripens in time. Life may test your patience, but the law rewards the one who endures in order. The energy you save in calmness becomes the power that achieves your goal. Repeat this affirmation daily until it becomes identity. I feel emotion, but emotion obeys me. I am its general, not its captive. My feelings fuel my purpose, not my downfall. Say it with the rhythm of certainty until your very heartbeat echoes it. Let your goal be not to feel less, but to govern more, for emotion is the wind, and will is the sail. The calm man uses both to reach his destination. The reckless man lets wind tear the sail to ribbons. There is a dignity and restraint that all great men share. You may not possess their fortune or fame, but you can possess their manner. Walk through the world as they did, deliberate, balanced, unhurried. Others will call it confidence, but it is more than that. It is control, the crown jewel of success. Calmness is not an act, but an atmosphere. It speaks before words and lasts after they fade. Once you have mastered this science, men will feel your composure before you enter the room. They will sense steadiness in your handshake, clarity in your tone, conviction in your silence. You will have learned to govern the unseen, and that is the beginning of mastery over the seen. Remember always, emotion is the raw ore from which character is forged. Fire without direction melts the vessel. Fire under control refines the gold. Govern your fire and you will shine where others burn. So I tell you, learn to feel without falling, to burn without consuming, to fight without frenzy. Make calmness your constant companion and emotional order your daily law. For when emotion kneels before purpose, man rises before the universe. And as you close this lesson, hold this affirmation in your heart. My emotion serves my faith. My feeling fuels my purpose. Nothing disturbs my reason. I am composed, and through that composure, I am free. Every man lives within two climates, the outer weather that touches his body and the inner atmosphere that governs his life. Few ever realize that the second determines the first. For every condition of fortune, every tone of relationship, every experience of day and night is but a reflection of the mental climate within. The calm man walks through storms untouched. The restless man finds storm even beneath clear skies. The law is certain. The world is not against you. It is around you, echoing the vibration of your dominant thought. When your mind is heated with agitation, events seem chaotic. When your mind is cool with order, events seem to obey. Every man carries his own weather. The weak allow others to forecast it. The strong create it deliberately, and by that creation, command their world. The mind, like the air, has temperature. Fear chills it until enthusiasm cannot grow. Faith warms it until every seed of desire takes root and blooms. You cannot expect flowers of peace in a climate of worry. Change the atmosphere within, and you change the results without. It is not the event, but the environment of thought that decides outcome. When I say climate, I mean the invisible tone that surrounds a man, his mental weather, his unseen fragrance. Some carry the chill of doubt, others radiate the warmth of certainty. The first repels opportunity, the second attracts it. For energy responds to energy, and harmony draws harmony. The calm mind creates fair weather even in adversity. The world has always mistaken calmness for luck. It is not luck, it is law. Henry Ford's confidence was a climate that magnetized the loyalty of thousands. His employees felt secure because his serenity was contagious. They worked better under his composure than they would have under another man's shouting. For the mind that radiates peace orders not only itself, but all who enter its orbit. Andrew Carnegie once said that during financial storms, men clung to him because he was unshaken. Banks wavered, markets trembled, yet his presence steadied them. His fortune was built as much upon his calmness as upon steel. He understood that leadership is not in orders shouted, but in peace maintained. He governed his environment by the temperature of his own belief. To understand this principle, imagine two rooms. In one, the air is tense with irritation. In the other, quiet with confidence. The same problem enters both, yet it finds solution only where the air is still. So with the mind. The turbulent brain cannot receive ideas. The quiet brain invites them. Calmness is the chamber of creation. You can sense a man's mental climate the instant he enters a room. Before he speaks, his energy announces him. The nervous radiate confusion. The confident radiate steadiness. This is not mysticism, but magnetism, the natural radiation of thought. Others breathe in your belief long before they hear your words. Thus, the man who maintains calmness becomes a source of influence even in silence. This is why those who remain composed command respect without demanding it. The tone of their being is order. Men instinctively trust them, for the human mind is drawn to stability as a compass is drawn to the pole. The angry repel assistance, the calm invite it. Even nature aligns with their peace. Doors open for them, not by chance, but because order attracts order. You have felt this yourself. When you are anxious, small difficulties multiply. The car breaks down, the letter delays, tempers flare. But when you are calm, obstacles melt, solutions appear, and coincidence favors you. The difference is not in the day, but in the temperature of your thought. Life bends to the one who refuses to bend to confusion. Edison knew this law when his laboratory burned. While others shouted, he smiled. He said, "Now we can start anew, free of our mistakes." That sentence came not from denial, but from discipline. His inner weather was so clear that even flames could not cloud it. The man who remains serene under trial commands a power that the violent can never touch, the power of deliberate order. Understand that agitation clouds perception. When the mind whirls, vision narrows. You cannot see the path when dust fills the air. Calmness clears that dust. It widens the horizon until possibilities appear that frenzy could never perceive. The man who holds peace in thought gains foresight, for he is not blinded by panic. When you enter any situation, whether a business room or a home, observe what your presence does. If peace increases, you are master. If confusion rises, you are still learning. The environment always testifies to the state of its ruler. A man's influence can be measured by the calm he brings. Make it your daily practice to set your climate before the day begins. Do not rush into motion without first commanding your atmosphere. Sit in silence before sunrise, even for 5 minutes, and fix this thought. Today, I remain calm under all conditions. Nothing external shall disturb my inner order. That declaration will color every hour with invisible confidence. Avoid beginning the day with the world's noise. Many ruin their composure before breakfast by letting confusion enter through words or worry. They read, they gossip, they fear, and then wonder why their day collapses. Begin instead with silence. Silence is the workshop where the weather of thought is shaped. Stillness before speech is power. Calm before motion is accuracy. Men who rise in haste spend their day correcting errors born of speed. The calm man begins slowly and finishes swiftly, for his mind does not waste effort on correction. Time obeys him because order governs him. To maintain a serene atmosphere amid the rush of life, withdraw for a few moments of silence whenever tension rises. Step aside in mind, if not in body. Breathe deeply and picture the storm outside subsiding under your steady gaze. Tell yourself, my calmness commands order, my peace is stronger than confusion. This thought, repeated, rebuilds the climate instantly. Once calmness becomes habit, your influence multiplies. Others will look to you in difficulty. They will bring you their confusion because your mind is shelter. You will become the quiet in their storm. This is leadership. Not authority imposed, but peace expressed. Men like Carnegie, Lincoln, and Ford all possess this invisible power. They led not only through ideas, but through atmosphere. Their calmness made others believe in themselves. It is said of Lincoln that when generals quarreled, he listened silently until their anger cooled, then spoke softly, and his words, carried on the breath of calm, dissolved hostility. To radiate peace is to create order wherever you go. You become a living example of the law of harmony. Even nature seems to conspire with you. Opportunities arise, not because they were absent before, but because your vibration allows you to see them. The agitated miss the door, though they stand before it. The calm see it open without effort. The climate you sustain determines the harvest you reap. Worry plants weeds. Peace plants prosperity. You cannot build abundance in a storm of thought. Clear your skies, and the sun of opportunity will shine without delay. Calmness also dignifies the individual. There is majesty in composure. The man who keeps his voice low in argument, his tone measured in disagreement, his posture relaxed in tension, such a man reveals authority even before he speaks. The loud seek approval, the calm command it. To maintain this state requires practice, for the world will always test it, but each test strengthens your command. When insulted, remain silent. When doubted, continue calmly. When wronged, answer with poise. These are the drills of mental climate. Through repetition, serenity becomes unbreakable habit. Understand that calmness does not eliminate struggle. It redefines it. Struggle becomes refinement rather than ruin. The calm mind uses adversity as the fire uses air, not to burn out, but to burn brighter. The restless man exhausts himself against resistance. The calm man uses resistance for strength. You may notice that people often mirror your tone. If you approach with irritation, they answer with it. If you approach with peace, they soften. The law of reflection governs all human contact. By keeping your climate pure, you purify the climate of others. Thus, your calmness becomes a service, not only to yourself, but to all mankind. Even in business, atmosphere decides outcome. The man who conducts negotiations with serenity disarms conflict before it begins. The excited bargain from weakness, the calm bargain from power. The nervous voice invites mistrust. The steady tone inspires confidence. Profit flows to composure as naturally as rivers flow to the sea. There is an unseen mathematics of peace. Every reaction consumes energy. Every moment of calm stores it. The man who reacts all day ends exhausted. The man who remains poised ends the day renewed. He has spent nothing on agitation, so all his force remains available for creation. Calmness is economy of spirit. Do not mistake calmness for pride. True calmness is humility and perfect balance. It does not proclaim superiority, it simply knows order. Pride shouts, "I am above you." Calmness says, "I am one with law." The former divides, the latter unites. The calm man is approachable because he fears nothing. Let us take this further. Calmness is faith in visible form. The anxious declare that they believe, yet their agitation betrays disbelief. The calm declare nothing, yet their silence proves trust. The man who walks serenely through difficulty proclaims his faith without word or gesture. His peace testifies to unseen confidence. To maintain this mental atmosphere requires daily renewal. Just as air must circulate to remain pure, so must thought be refreshed through quiet meditation. Each evening, close your day in stillness. Review without regret. Observe without judgment. Rest without worry. The next morning, rise clean in thought as though the world itself had been remade. Soon this climate will become self-sustaining. Calmness will no longer be effort. It will be identity. Your very presence will steady others, and your peace will outlast their doubt. They will call it charisma or magnetism, but you will know it by its true name, order. Repeat these affirmations to anchor your atmosphere. My presence restores order. My calmness commands respect. My peace influences all who meet me. I am a center of calm force. The air around me is harmony. Each word, repeated with conviction, becomes a vibration that reshapes the invisible world around you. Words charged with peace are creative acts. They mold reality into their likeness. When calmness has matured into habit, men will notice change not only in your speech but in your fortune. Money will flow more easily because opportunity trusts peace. Relationships will deepen because love thrives in serenity. Even health will strengthen, for every cell of the body breathes better air beneath a calm mind. Remember this eternal truth. You do not need to chase success. You need only to create the climate in which success grows. The universe is a garden that responds to mental weather. If you sow ideas of courage and water them with calmness, you cannot reap anything but harmony and abundance. And when trials come, as they will, you will no longer cry, "Why me?" but instead think, "What is this teaching me?" For the calm man sees instruction where others see injustice. His inner climate remains clear though the outer world reigns. Finally, understand that the true measure of mastery is atmosphere. The calm man is the lighthouse in storm, the steady hand on the wheel, the mountain whose peace guides valleys below. His mind becomes a temple where fear finds no entrance. This is greatness, invisible, quiet, invincible. Close this lesson with stillness. Take a breath and affirm quietly, I am calm within and around. My peace governs my world. My atmosphere is law. My serenity builds my fortune. Let that thought settle deep into your being. For once you have learned to sustain the right mental climate, nothing external can control your weather again. You will walk through storms with the calm of sunlight, and through sunlight with the gratitude of peace. The greatest men in history have shared one quiet secret. They understood the rhythm of time. They knew that law works in seasons, that every cause demands its interval, and that impatience breaks what patience would have perfected. They learned to move with the current of infinite intelligence, not against it. Patience is the calm recognition that divine order never hurries and never fails. The restless man measures success by motion. The wise man measures it by direction. The first runs in circles and calls it progress. The second walks steadily in silence and calls it faith. The truly powerful man never rushes, for he knows that time is his ally. Haste wastes strength. Composure multiplies it. What is gained by fever is lost in error. Calmness and patience are not the absence of ambition. They are ambition refined. To wait with faith while working with precision is the rarest form of mastery. The one who can labor steadily, plan intelligently, and wait courageously without losing peace possesses an advantage over all who fret, panic, or despair. Life has its order. No seed flowers before its appointed hour. The farmer who plucks the crop before ripening ruins months of labor. So too the impatient man snatches at opportunity before it is mature, and wonders why it turns to dust in his hands. The calm man plants, tends, and trusts. He knows that nature never fails the one who aligns with her rhythm. Thomas Edison understood this law of timing. For years he labored in failure while others mocked. Yet his faith was steady as the sun. Each mistake, he said, is one more step toward success. He did not hurry invention. He cultivated it. His patience was not laziness. It was partnership with law. Infinite intelligence rewards those who keep working in peace, while others quit in frenzy. The illusion of urgency is the enemy of wisdom. The world shouts, "Hurry or be left behind." But those who hurry often run away from success. The man who is sure of his purpose does not race. He moves with calm precision. To act at the right moment is more powerful than to act constantly. Even lightning waits in silence until the conditions are perfect for release. Patience is spiritual muscle. It is not passive endurance, but dynamic faith. It is the decision to trust law rather than panic. When you wait with belief, you are not idle, you are aligned. The calm man's waiting is filled with work, reflection, and quiet growth. He is never motionless in spirit, even when outwardly still. Every impatience is a confession of fear. The man who cannot wait admits that he doubts the justice of law. But the one who can sit quietly amid delay proclaims his mastery. He knows that infinite intelligence is arranging the unseen conditions of his success. The delay is not denial. It is design. There is a hidden order in every apparent setback. The calm thinker looks beyond the surface and sees preparation. Every obstacle conceals an instruction. Every pause conceals protection. How many men have lost their fortunes by rushing into opportunity before they were ready to handle it? Patience is not postponement. It is preservation. Lincoln, before he led a nation, endured years of defeat and ridicule. Lesser men would have quit, yet he waited, shaping character through every loss. Each disappointment tempered his spirit until it could bear the burden of greatness. His patience became the steel of his leadership. Without it, the fire of war would have broken him. Impatience breeds disorder. It confuses the mind, corrupts judgment, and closes the ear to guidance. The man who hurries cannot hear the whisper of law. Infinite intelligence speaks not in noise, but in rhythm. The calm, patient mind perceives that rhythm, acts in harmony with it, and therefore succeeds without strain. You cannot command law, you can only cooperate with it. The impetuous man tries to force the universe to his will. The wise man aligns his will with the universe. When you work in harmony with timing, even small efforts produce great results. When you resist timing, even great effort fails. Calm patience is not surrender. It is strategic obedience. The seed law governs all creation. The moment you decide upon a definite purpose, you plant the seed of its fulfillment. But the soil of reality must be prepared by time. To dig daily at the seed is to destroy its growth. Faith is the gardener's patience. You must water your goal with effort and protect it with belief, but never demand that it bloom before its hour. I once met a man who failed in every enterprise, though his plans were wise. His weakness was haste. He sowed in spring and demanded harvest by summer. When results delayed, he uprooted each idea, doubting its worth, and started another. The soil of his mind was never given rest, and no root could take hold. The impatient man is always beginning, the calm man always finishing. Learn to value pauses. Between every heartbeat there is a silence. Between every action there is a breath. Without these intervals, life would collapse. The same law applies to success. The pause between effort and reward is sacred. It allows strength to recover, wisdom to gather, and direction to clarify. The calm man uses pauses as builders use blueprints, to measure before cutting. When impatience arises, do not fight it. Observe it. Ask, what fear speaks beneath this haste? Almost always it is doubt disguised as urgency. Replace it with the affirmation, infinite intelligence works through me in perfect order. I act when law moves, not before. Repeat it until calm returns. Every season of waiting has its purpose. Sometimes delay trains faith. Sometimes it protects you from premature success, which is ruin in disguise. The man who receives fortune before he is mentally ready loses it quickly. Law grants only what can be sustained in order. Patience ensures preparedness. There is no stagnation in divine timing. Even when all seems motionless, unseen forces are at work. The roots of trees grow most in winter when branches appear lifeless. Likewise, the roots of success deepen in quiet struggle. The man who mistakes stillness for death uproots his own progress. The calm man respects the unseen. He knows that every desire creates its invisible path long before it becomes visible. His patience is confidence that the invisible will appear at the appointed hour. This attitude alone separates the master from the masses. Impatience is the offspring of comparison. The man who measures his pace against another's loses rhythm. The farmer does not envy the gardener. He waits for his own harvest. Likewise, the calm thinker works without competition, for he knows that law is personal and precise. His success cannot be delayed by another's speed. In my study of great fortunes, I found this common thread. Those who held calm faith in long plans always surpassed the impulsive. The builders of empires, the inventors, the leaders, all practiced patience. They worked daily, but they never forced time. They did not try to outpace law, they walked beside it. There is a physical law behind this truth. The body under impatience contracts. The body under faith relaxes. Muscles tense, breath shortens, thought scatters. Calmness expands energy. Impatience dissipates it. A relaxed mind sees opportunity. A strained mind misses it. Serenity is efficiency. You may think patience is too slow for this modern age, but every generation has said the same. The laws of growth do not change. The seed still needs its season, and men still fail for ignoring it. Hurry has never produced genius. It has only produced exhaustion. Practice the art of deliberate waiting. When an opportunity arises, do not pounce. Weigh. When a setback appears, do not despair. Study. When success tempts arrogance, pause and give thanks. These acts of measured calm enlarge perception and prevent destruction. Patience also protects health. Worry consumes the body faster than labor. The anxious man ages in days. The peaceful lives decades longer. Time obeys calmness even in the flesh. The man who remains unhurried moves through years without strain, for his spirit dictates rhythm to his heart. The wise use waiting as warriors use rest to sharpen the blade. During delay, read, plan, prepare, imagine. Build skill while results are maturing. The impatient waste delay in complaint. The calm use it for advantage. The one who prepares during pause moves swiftly when the door opens. Calmness is faith made visible. When you trust divine timing, your eyes lose their strain, your voice gains assurance, your manner becomes composed. Others sense this certainty and follow it. Leadership requires patience because command over time precedes command over men. Let us consider Lincoln once more. When advisers demanded haste, he replied, "I must walk slowly, for I walk with destiny." He understood that steps taken in calmness carry farther than leaps taken in panic. His patience preserved a nation that might have destroyed itself through reaction. In business or life, never let the clock rule your confidence. Time is not your enemy, it is your collaborator. The hours are not against you, they are preparing the way for you. To fight time is to fight the very law that grants success. Accept its rhythm as the tide accepts the moon. The exercise of patience is a daily apprenticeship in faith. Begin with small acts. Wait 1 minute before answering anger. Delay 1 day before making a major change. Refuse to chase opportunity. Let it ripen. Each victory over haste adds weight to your composure until patience becomes instinct. Repeat this affirmation when you grow restless. I do not rush. I do not retreat. I move in perfect rhythm with law. Time serves me because I serve order. Speak it with full belief until your pulse slows and your thought clears. When you live by this law, struggle loses its terror. You no longer demand instant fruit. You enjoy the process of growth. Every day becomes a necessary thread in the pattern of destiny. The calm man works, waits, and wins. Impatience makes man a slave to circumstance. Patience makes him master of destiny. The difference lies in trust. Believe that infinite intelligence knows more than you about timing, and peace will descend upon your heart. You will stop trying to force the door that opens only by natural law. True calmness is silent cooperation with divine order. It is knowing that what belongs to you will come, not by pleading, but by preparation. It is trusting that no delay can rob you, and no hurry can help you. Such serenity gives the appearance of miracle, but it is merely alignment. You will find as patience deepens that what once agitated you now strengthens you. Waiting becomes pleasure, for you see law in motion. Struggle becomes friend, for you see refinement. Delay becomes proof, for you see design. The calm man lives above time, even while within it. So I tell you, my friend, slow your mind to the speed of wisdom. Let your thoughts move as rivers move. Steady, deep, unstoppable. When others rush and fall, you will walk in quiet certainty toward the inevitable triumph that patience always yields. And when the world asks how you kept peace while all seemed lost, you may answer, I trusted the law. I knew that infinite intelligence never hurries, yet all is accomplished. This is the silent strength of patience and timing, the mastery of rhythm, the calm partnership with eternal order. Those who learn it conquer life not by speed, but by serenity. Every man can appear calm in the sunshine, but the true measure of mastery is how he stands in the storm. When chaos howls, when fortune collapses, when men panic and faith trembles, the royal mind remains composed. It moves through noise without being drawn into it. It decides without haste, acts without fear, and endures without bitterness. That is dominion, calmness under fire. Struggle will always come. Life was designed not for ease, but for growth, and growth requires pressure. The purpose of adversity is not punishment, but refinement. The untrained mind collapses under trial, but the disciplined mind becomes polished like steel. Every flame that touches you has come to strengthen you, not to destroy you. The question is not whether storms will come, but whether you will remain master when they do. When I speak of mastery under fire, I mean the state of inner authority that nothing external can overthrow. It is the calm born not of ignorance, but of understanding. The conviction that law governs all, that infinite intelligence makes no mistakes, and that even calamity serves design. The man who knows this truth cannot be shaken. He does not fight the storm, he governs his sail. Consider John D. Rockefeller during the Great Market Panic. As values plummeted and men screamed ruin, he remained silent, serene. While others sold, he bought. When reporters asked how he could be so calm, he said, "Because I have faith in the future of this country." That was no empty optimism. It was understanding. His composure saw opportunity where others saw disaster. Fortune follows foresight, and foresight is born of calm. The battlefield of adversity is never external. It is fought in the mind. Every defeat in the outer world begins with surrender within. The man who keeps his mind steady while others lose theirs holds an invisible advantage more valuable than money or talent, the advantage of order. Calmness is not passivity, it is concentrated direction. I have watched men ruin themselves through emotion when reason would have saved them. They fight the wrong enemy. They wrestle with conditions rather than with their own confusion. But the calm thinker sees that the storm outside is only a reflection of the storm within. Still the inner world, and the outer must obey. Picture the mind as a fortress surrounded by the winds of circumstance. Faith is its wall, and decision its gate. So long as the gate remains closed to fear, no calamity can conquer it. You may lose possessions, reputation, even friends. But if the fortress of calmness stands, all can be rebuilt. The man who keeps his mind unbroken keeps the seed of restoration. Lincoln proved this truth. While war tore his nation apart, he carried a serenity that seemed almost divine. His humor, his patience, his quiet endurance, these were not temperament, but discipline. When generals quarreled, he listened. When citizens despaired, he smiled. When the weight of a country pressed upon him, he whispered, "This too shall pass." He conquered not by force of arm, but by composure of soul. To fight without frenzy requires two things: definite purpose and faith in law. The man who knows where he is going has no need to shout. The man who knows who governs the universe has no cause to fear. Uncertainty breeds panic. Certainty breeds calm. The mind that sees meaning in struggle walks through trial as through training. When you remain calm under fire, you double your efficiency. Emotion scatters strength. Serenity focuses it. A frantic hand trembles and misses its mark. A steady hand strikes true. The same law applies to thought. When the mind is agitated, it acts blindly. When it is still, it acts with precision. Calmness saves time, energy, and fortune. Napoleon once said, "The greatest test of courage is to bear defeat without losing heart." But he might also have said, "The greatest proof of mastery is to bear confusion without losing composure." The calm man does not deny difficulty. He dominates it. He meets opposition not with rage, but with reasoning, not with haste, but with faith. It is not bravery to be unafraid. It is mastery to feel fear and yet remain unmoved. Fear is natural. Submission to fear is voluntary. You cannot prevent emotion from knocking at your gate, but you can decide whether to let it enter. The calm man opens only to faith. Understand that adversity is the field where mastery is proven. Every soldier becomes great not by parade but by battle. The royal mind must earn its crown in fire. Without pressure, gold remains ore. It is the furnace of difficulty that reveals purity of thought and the measure of faith. The calm mind welcomes trial as opportunity to demonstrate power. Edison faced thousands of failures before triumph, yet his spirit never dimmed. When mocked, he laughed. When exhausted, he rested, not in despair, but in renewed curiosity. He was not indifferent. He was composed. The calm mind bends without breaking. It treats obstacles as experiments, not insults. The composure you build in small annoyances becomes armor for great trials. Every moment you resist irritation, you strengthen endurance. Practice calmness in trivial matters, and you will possess it in tragedy. The man who cannot rule himself in conversation will not rule himself in catastrophe. Discipline is not forged in crisis, but proven there. When the world attacks, when misunderstanding wounds, when betrayal stings, your first duty is silence, not the silence of retreat, but the silence of dominion. Reaction is surrender. Observation is command. Watch your mind as a king watches his court. Let no hasty counsel of emotion decide your next step. The calm man's pause is mightier than the angry man's shout. In crisis, remember this principle. Law is still operating. Even when the ground quakes, gravity remains. Even when the storm blinds, the compass points true. So it is with the law of success. It never sleeps. Calmness keeps you attuned to it. Agitation cuts you off from it. Faith listens while fear screams. When I faced poverty, ridicule, and repeated failure, I too was tested. My plans collapsed. My faith wavered. But I discovered that every time I returned to stillness, solutions appeared. When I stopped arguing with fate and began cooperating with law, life itself became my ally. Calmness was my turning point from confusion to clarity. Your calmness will confuse others. They will mistake it for pride, arrogance, or detachment. Let them. The world judges by noise. Law judges by order. The tree does not shout to prove its strength. It stands and endures. So must you. Those who misunderstand your serenity will later call it wisdom. To remain calm under pressure is to declare spiritual independence. You say to the universe, I am not at the mercy of events. I am at the command of law. That conviction releases a vibration of authority that changes every circumstance. People sense it. They obey it. The calm man governs even the unruly through the magnetism of inner certainty. The nervous mind spreads confusion. The composed mind organizes it. I have watched one quiet individual restore order to a whole company merely by entering the room. He spoke little, but his presence steadied all. That presence is power, the invisible dominion of the calm spirit. If you wish to cultivate such mastery, begin by practicing deliberate composure in moments of surprise. When unexpected news arrives, pause. When insulted, breathe. When plans fail, observe before you decide. Every pause strengthens your sovereignty. You will soon find that no event can dethrone your peace. Rockefeller said that the man who keeps his head when others lose theirs will soon own those who lost theirs. This may sound severe, but it is truth. The market of life rewards composure. Calmness sees value where panic sells it cheap. Those who can remain unshaken always find advantage. Let us consider how the royal mind acts in defeat. It does not curse nor complain. It studies. It asks, what law have I violated? What must I learn? Then it corrects and continues. To waste energy on regret is to repeat error. To face it with calm analysis is to convert defeat into seed for victory. Faith is calm's foundation. Without faith and order, no composure can endure. You must know, not hope, not wish, but know, that infinite intelligence is for you, never against you. Even apparent injustice conceals guidance. Every wound holds instruction. Calmness rests in this certainty, and therefore cannot be destroyed by appearances. Remember, the calm mind is not inactive, it is directed. Still water reflects perfectly because it is deep. The shallow stream makes the most noise. So it is with men. The loud display agitation, the quiet carry depth. To remain unshaken in chaos is not sloth, but supreme motion, motion aligned with law. When you face opposition, see it as the sculptor sees the hammer. The blows shape, not shatter. The calm man endures impact because he sees purpose. The weak resist, the strong absorb, the master transforms. Every difficulty becomes a chisel for character. The noise of the strike may hurt, but the result is beauty. Do not forget humor. Laughter in adversity is a sign of mastery. Lincoln laughed in his darkest hours. Edison joked in failure. Laughter releases tension and declares faith in outcome. It is not denial of trouble, but denial of its power. The man who can smile in struggle has already conquered half the battle. There is also strength and gentleness. The calm mind does not strike wildly, it chooses its blows. Anger may win a moment, but composure wins eternity. The man who governs his reaction governs every fight before it begins. He cannot be manipulated, for no one can provoke him into self-destruction. To live in such dominion is to touch the divine, for God himself acts through law, not through passion. The calm mind mirrors this divine order. In its silence, infinite intelligence finds expression. To be calm in chaos is to be in harmony with the creative force that holds the stars in orbit. You must decide, then, that no condition shall ever dictate your state. Let storms rage outside. They cannot enter a fortified mind. Let fortune turn. You remain the same. The calm man does not beg for peace. He brings it. Wherever he stands becomes stable ground. Repeat this affirmation until it becomes your armor. Nothing external commands me. My peace is power. My calmness is the shield of faith. I am unmoved in storm. My composure governs circumstance. Say it each morning before facing the world, and your vibration will already be law before challenge appears. Others will feel your steadiness. They will look to you in confusion, for composure is leadership. You will no longer need to persuade. Your silence will persuade. You will no longer need to compete. The world will defer. The royal mind does not chase. It draws all things by the gravity of peace. And when the final tests come, when health falters, fortune fades, or friends fail, stand still within. Remember that nothing real can be lost, for the essence of all things is spirit, and spirit belongs to the calm. The world may crumble, but order remains. To rest in that knowledge is immortality of mind. Thus ends the lesson. Calmness is not withdrawal, it is dominion. It is the invisible crown of those who have mastered self. It commands fear to depart, turns defeat into wisdom, and makes even death a servant of law. He who attains this composure walks as a king, though clothed in rags, for the world bows to inner order. So hold fast to your serenity. Practice it daily in small trials and great. Let it shape your voice, your eyes, your tone, your manner. Let it become your atmosphere, your identity, your unbreakable rhythm. And when struggle returns, as it will, greet it with these words: My faith sees order where others see ruin. My calmness commands life to obey its higher law. I am harmony in the midst of chaos, peace in the heart of fire, and master of all that seeks to shake me. For the man who fights while calm cannot be defeated, because he has conquered himself.